Saints 49ers recap. All right, ladies and gentlemen, just got back from the Dome. We are going to go ahead and break this thing down. Man, like the first 2 weeks, just really unfortunate for the Saints. Like the first 2 weeks here is 2 games where you got a chance to win at the end. You shoot yourself in the foot the entire game. You're given a chance to win right at the end, come up short, and you don't get the W. It's just brutal, really, really tough 2 games. I mean, honestly, they followed very, very similar scripts. Like both games were very, very similar how they played out. And this one is much more obvious, I guess, of why we lost the game. Like this one's much more of, you can point to a couple of things. And before we get to all that, I will say the 49ers are known to travel well. Like they're a fan base that I think travels just basically every game. They're going to have a pretty solid showing. In the Dome, I'll tell you this, it was a ton of Niners fans. Yeah, the worst I ever saw was Detroit. The Detroit game in the Dome, that one was like talked about across the league. This one was right up there. I mean, it was almost like an away game at certain times. It got to the point to where when they showed replays, usually you hear a cheer if something good happens for the Saints. I had to reverse it. Like if I heard a cheer, then I knew something bad happened for the Saints because there were so many Niners fans, especially where I was sitting. But all right, so let's break this thing down. The main thing in this game was third down. Like third down was brutal. The 49ers finished 8 for 15, but they were 8 for 12 before the last couple of drives there. So 8 for 12, that's insane. That is a crazy third down conversion rate, especially when you're going against Mac Jones, especially when it's Mac Jones and nobody else. And that was the biggest thing. The untimely penalties, we did much better on the penalty front. I mean, we cut it in half. But the untimeliness of the penalties, like the hands to the face from Kool-Aid on 3rd and 14 or whatever. And it's not just third down conversions. It's 3rd and long. It's 3rd and 10. It's 3rd and 11. It's 3rd and 14. Like those are so backbreaking. Those are so much different than 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 1, whatever. But to get yourself in a position to where it's 3rd and 11, 3rd and 12, 3rd and 14, whatever. Like that's such a optimal position to be in defensively, and to give that up to Mac Jones and Juwan Jennings, and especially like the last couple of them where it was just Christian McCaffrey. It was just like, all right, well, 3rd and 11, Christian McCaffrey runs like a pseudo out route. He's wide open. It's like, guys, what do you think they're going to do? You know, there was a lot of slippage. I mean, I'm not sure what the hell is going on with the turf, but it seems like whenever the Saints need to stop, someone's on the ground. Whenever there's a big moment, someone's slipping. Isaac Adams slipped on a 3rd and long that went to Juwan Jennings. I think, was there a slip on the, I think he might have slipped or someone might have slipped. No, it was Pete Werner. It was Pete Werner. It looked like he couldn't see the ball on the Juwan Jennings touchdown pass. Spencer Rattler slipped on the 4th and 2 at the end, so I don't know what's going on there. But the missed field goal was obviously a big deal, similar to last game where you miss the field goal and it changes the entire strategy of the game. It changes what you're chasing. You know, all of a sudden you have to score a touchdown on the final drive. Well, you treat that drive differently if you have to kick a field goal, right? Like all of a sudden now you're more willing to run the ball. You're more willing to chew clock. If you only have to get within field goal range, you don't have to score. So it just changes everything. And it just seems like, I tweeted this out, but it seems like the Saints are losing everything in the margins. And what I mean by that is during a football game, things happen in the margins that it's stuff like penalties, it's stuff like special teams, it's stuff like, you know, just like drops, like those things like that. They just happen throughout a game and they're almost unaccounted for. You know, like you don't factor that in because they're just like the minutia of what makes a football game. The Saints are losing in those margins. They are losing in third down, special teams, the drops. I mean, it doubly hurts because if you followed my betting preview, we had Juwan Johnson to have a ton of catches. Well, we were right on it. Like we were right on what happened. He had 9 targets, but he only had 5 receptions because he had like 3 drops. He should have had 7 to 8 catches. Chris Olave had a couple drops. Alvin Kamara had the fumble, like stuff like that. You cannot be a below average team. You cannot be a bad team. You cannot be whatever and have those kind of drops or those kind of like marginal losses. You can't be below average to bad and also give up a ton on third down conversions. You can't be marginal or average or whatever or bad and also miss field goals. You can't be below average or bad and also drop touchdown passes. You can't be below average or bad and drop 4 or 5 passes in the first half. That can't happen. You won't win games like that, and we've seen that in both games. Both games, it's been third downs, it's been penalties, it's been missed field goals, it's been like that. It's frustrating because it takes away from, like, those are the things that it's easy to sit here and be like, okay, well, Spencer Rattler either played good or bad. Like Alvin Kamara could either run the football or he couldn't. Like, it's easy to do that. But whenever you're doing like drops, it's like they're professional football players. Like, what like what am I supposed to say? They got to catch the ball better? Of course. Like Blake Grupe's got to make field goals for sure. One of the best kickers in the NFL last year. Now he's got the yips. Two games, 2 missed field goals. Okay, sweet. I think he missed 1 field goal in all of training camp and preseason and all that. So, and then the third down stuff. I don't know. Like, I have no clue what the problem is on third down to where, especially on third and long. Again, it's not 3rd and 4, not 3rd and 5, not 3rd and 6. It's 3rd and long. It's 3rd and 10 or greater, and we are really, really struggling in that situation. And it's even more frustrating because then when the defense has to come up with a stop at the end of the game, they do. They have to come up with a stop at the end of the game back-to-back times to give us a chance to win it. They do. No problem. And then Morstead pins us back, and we have to go 90 yards. We have 2 drives. The first drive was absolutely horrible. And then the second drive was looking good. And then 3rd and 2 turns into 4th and 2. Rattler slips, and that's it. And it's just, but let's look at the team stats real quick. So first downs, 20-3 to 21. Third down efficiency, again, 8 for 15, 8 for 12 at one point, and then 4 for 11. Fourth down, 6 for 1 for 2. Total plays, 68 and 67. What's going on? There we go. Total yards, 344 to 307. Yards per play, 5.1 to 4.6. Passing, 267 to 186. Sacks, both had 3. Rushing, 121 to 77. They had 3 yards a carry. We had 4. Red zone, 3 for 3 and 2 for 2. Penalties, 7 and 5. Turnovers were equal. Time of possession was different by, I can't do math right now. A minute and 30 seconds. So, pretty even. I mean, again, we're not splitting the atom here. Super even game, and it's going to be a super even game whenever you have the ball to win the game at the end, just like game 1. Exactly the same as game 1. Exact same. Like, very easy, very even game right there. We have a couple of things in the margins, like missed field goal and the third down stuff and drops and all that stuff. You have a chance to win the game at the end. You don't. You look at the box score. Box score tells the story. 50-50 game, and you just don't lose. Or you just don't win. The Saints are, like, bottom line is they're not doing what you have to do to win 50-50 games like this. And it sucks because they are good enough to be in the game. Like, they are good enough to have the ball with a chance to win against the Arizona Cardinals. They are good enough to have the ball with a chance to win against the San Francisco 49ers after giving up 8 for 15 on third down, after missing a field goal, after fumbling, after all that stuff. But they just aren't good enough, or they aren't clean enough throughout a game to win these games. Like, it feels like, and sometimes this stuff, the longer it goes or whatever, like, the more it kind of just builds on itself, and you wonder, you wonder if they need to win first. Like, do they need to win first to believe that they can win these games? I don't know. But, yeah, I mean, the moral of the story in this game is, like, you just can't. You defensively, like, I would say the defense lost this game. I think the offense played fine. I mean, we ran the ball well. Alvin Kamara had 21 for 99 with 4.7 yards a carry, pretty sporty. Christian McCaffrey, 13 for 55. I think if going into this game, I would have told you, hey, Christian McCaffrey's going to finish the game with 13 for 55, no touchdowns. You would have said, sweet. Sounds good to me. You know, I mean, 26 for 77, 3 yards a carry, no rushing touchdowns. You would have said, yeah, hell yeah. I'm there. I'll take that every day of the week. You know, I'm all for that. But again, those, like, you cannot allow Mac Jones to go 26 of 39 for 279, 3 touchdowns, no picks, and convert basically 70% of third downs. You're not going to win those games. That's it. You know, I mean, the drops, brutal. The volume of, like, the targets and all that stuff, same as last game. Like, Olave, 10 targets. Juwan Johnson, 9 targets. So that's something that we can just keep doing every week. Like, every week we can just kind of go back to, he's going to throw it to Chris Olave and he's going to throw it to Juwan Johnson. Now, are they going to drop the ball 2-3 times? You know, who knows? But defensively, Carl Granderson had a couple sacks. Demario Davis had 11 tackles. Good stuff there. We're a team that needs to. It's funny because right before the fumble, the Mac Jones fumble, right before that, I was saying in the stands, I was like, you know, we need a turnover because they, like, the Saints seem like they need something to break their way in order for them to win one of these games, because everything's so close and it's on that edge of that 50-50. The Saints just need a break. They need a interception. They need a fumble return. They need a kickoff return. They need a punt return. They need something like that to kickstart this, because if they can get something like that to break through those margins, we're going to start winning games. You know, because right now the Saints are basically, or it's been 2 games, but they are playing carbon copies of the games, which is, it's just a straight up, like, just like a tennis match where they're just lobbying back and forth. There's like, whatever you're doing, we're doing. We're just doing the exact same thing the entire game, and then we're going to let it come down to the final 2 minutes. Let it come down to the final 3 minutes. And when you play like that, every single negative, aka every single missed field goal, every single drop, every single penalty, every single, you know, third down conversion becomes magnified, because you're playing so close, you're playing so tight to your opponents. And the Saints just, and the missed field goal is even worse because of when it happened. You know, it happens on the first drive of the game. Saints have a great drive. Everything looks good. You know, we have a 40-yard pass to Shaheed. We're on the, you know, we're in the red zone, or we're on the San Francisco 22. Like, everything's cool, everything's chilling. And then all of a sudden, it was Juwan Johnson drop. Then it was Chris Olave. Then it was Rattler throws behind Olave in the end zone. Olave still maybe should have caught it. I don't know. Juwan Johnson was open on that play too. So you have the drops, but then you have the should have been a touchdown pass. Then you have should have been a field goal, and you get nothing. And because it's the first drive of the game, now you also lose the value moving forward, where the 49ers get the ball on the other side of the half, which played into this game enormously, because you score, right? It's 9-7, and with a minute left, you let the 49ers march 80 yards basically in a minute, and with 8 seconds left, you let them score. You know, so it's 16-7, could be 9-7. But in reality, it should be 10-9 or 14-9. You know, because you either score or you kick the field goal or whatever. You know, like, it's very frustrating to watch the games because I think we can all agree like the Saints had a shot to win both games. I mean, let's see if they have like the win percentage thing. Yeah, like if you look at the win share, let's see. So it's 6-0. It's 6-0, 9-0. All right, then it's 9-7. So the Saints are like 40%. So 60-40. All right, then back to 60-40. And it just kind of remains 60-40, 70-30. Some of these numbers seem super high. Some of these aren't right. And then, towards the end of the game, I mean, there's no way. Some of the stuff's not right. But for the majority of the game, yeah, I mean, there's no way. For the majority of the game, you're looking at like a 70-30, 60-40, somewhere in that time frame, or somewhere in that percentage frame, which I would assume is the same as the Cardinals game. And to come out of those two coin flips, basically, 0-2, brutal. I mean, just not what you want as a Saints fan. And the worst part, or one of the worst parts, is kind of like what I was talking about earlier. It would almost be easier. To be like, Rattler's not playing well, or we can't run the ball, or we don't have playmakers, or but it's just like we're just losing these coin flip games, and that's it. Like, yeah, the roster could be better, no doubt about it. Like, this is a team that's like a 5, 6, 7, 8 win team, but similar to the Cardinals game, we were not outmatched roster wise, and certainly not in this game. We weren't outmatched roster wise. It's just we didn't do enough to win the game. We're not doing enough to win these football games. We're not playing like a team should play to win these games. And what is that, right? Like how do you make NFL receivers and tight ends not have untimely drops? And then it's like, well, Juwan Johnson can't catch. It's like, okay, well, what about the touchdown catch? He's dropping wide open passes, but then makes that touchdown catch. Chris Olave can't even find the ball, and then he's making big catches at the end of the game. The defense, I'm just knock this water all over myself. The defense can't stop anyone on third down, 8 for 12, but then they make critical stops at the end of the game. It's like you can see it's there. You can see there's something there. This team just has to polish the edges to figure out how to win football games. And it's up to Kellen Moore to do that. But I have a sneaky feeling we're going to see Spencer Rattler have a really good PFF grade for the Saints. I think Spencer Rattler was really good in this game. I think Kamara was good in this game except for the fumble. I think he was running the ball really well. We got away from the run kind of in the late half of the first half. Maybe we should have continued that, but I think you can kind of see some consistency here. You can kind of see like, all right, the first game was a little bit more of a ramp-up game for Kamara. I think this is the volume you can expect from him. It's a ton of volume. 6 catches, 21 carries, very different than his first game. No Devin Neal this game, much less Kendra Miller. Kendra Miller had 5 carries for 8 yards, 1.6 yards a carry, not great. Rattler was good on the ground. He picked up some of the some of the plays, like the fourth down and stuff that he was picking up. I mean, he was working for every bit of those 14 yards. But yeah, it's unfortunate, man. It really is unfortunate. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, get on down in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.